We've got a lot of cameos in Samurai Jack, and there's a twist I didn't see coming in X8, even though I probably should have. Anyway, hey, this is Zero Reviews. I'm Zero, your host, like always. Let's get into this. So, Samurai Jack, season 5, what is it, episode 7 or whatever? Or 6? Episode 6, I think? I can't remember. Anyway, it's episode 58, according to the title, but hey. So, basically this episode continues where we kind of left off, as in Ashi doesn't know where Jack is, she's trying to find him, and, she thinks he might in danger. Throughout her journey, she encounters a bunch of characters from past Samurai Jack episodes, which is really cool. I'll go through the cameos in a bit, but we also have a B plot with Scaramouche. His severed head, it reactivates, and despite his handicap and his phone being destroyed, he plans on getting in touch with Aku to inform Jack of his missing. Not inform Jack. He wants to get in touch with Aku to inform Aku of Jack's, missing sword and stuff. So the whole sword subplot thing is still going strong. Something tells me the way this is going to resolve, because he gets close to telling Aku, but he doesn't. Something tells me Scaramouche is going to get to Aku's lair, tell Aku about how Jack doesn't have the sword anymore, and then Aku will get motivated to find Jack, but by that point Jack will have the sword, and you get what I'm saying. And then obviously, I feel like he'd be like, oh, okay, get Scaramouche upgraded and stuff, and then he just destroys Scaramouche once he finds out that he was basically lying to him, even though he technically wasn't. Something tells me it's going to come to that, and if I predicted how that's going to happen, hey, predictions. So, the journey of Ashi, basically, she's on an airship, and she bumps into two woolies, or rather, they try to bump into her to stop her, because they think she's one of Aku's assassins. So, so they attack her, she explains what she's doing, and, the woolies talk to Ashi about how they were saved, because they were, the woolies, what episode was it again? Let's see. Yeah, it was the first episode after the movie, basically, or the premiere movie that had the first 3 episodes. It's they're the first creatures that Jack basically saved, and once she finds out that Jack stopped at this destination or so, she thanks the woolies, and then she what's it called, skydives into the forest below, and then she keeps going when she runs across people attacking some beetle drones, and the beetle drones get destroyed, and we find out it's the 3 blind archers from the tower episode, where they were basically cursed to be archers, blind archers, and they would kill anyone who tried to reach the what's it called, this wishing well portal thing. Turns out it was cursed by Aku. We didn't know that in the original, but yeah, it was cursed by Aku, and that kind of makes sense now that I think about it. But yeah, we get to see the 3 blind archers. They actually have a village, and they somehow managed to reproduce, unless they had more of their kind. They just came back to them or whatever, or found them or whatever. But yeah, we got to see the 3 blind archers. Let's see who else. Oh yeah, we get to see a rave. Now this is an episode I didn't see. Basically, it's Olivia and the ravers. It's an episode. A fun episode that has spawned the gif of Samurai Jack in rave gear doing kung fu moves. That's where it's from. I never really, I don't think I ever actually saw this one, but, she comes across them, and, he's further convinced of Jack's, heroism from, like, all these people, like, talking about it, rallying, and being all, like, praising Jack for what he's done. And I really like this episode because it shows the duality of this and the previous episode, because previous episode was showing what Aku's taken away, what he's done, and all that kind of stuff. And this episode is showing all the good that Jack's done, even if he doesn't realize it, you know what I mean? All the times he's helped the little people, and sacrificed his way of getting home as a result. He's helped more people than he thinks he has, and it's great. So, what's it called? He has, like, flashbacks to her time, like, with her mother when they were indoctrinating the sisters. The big twist this episode for me was, what's it called? Ashi and the sister, the daughters of Aku, their outfits aren't actually outfits. It's like ashes on top of their bodies, because they basically, the mother basically had them dive into burning ashes, and that resulted in their signature outfits, becoming one with the darkness and stuff. And it's like, wow. So she was essentially naked the entire time. Yeah. That was a big twist for me. I wasn't like a lot of people saying she wasn't actually naked, blah blah blah. I'm all like, essentially she was. All of them were, and that was the big twist that got me. So basically, she spends the rest of the night, she scrubs off the ashes, and, she makes a new outfit out of leaves and stuff. And so, she looks, as Aku would say, extra thick now. No, I'm joking. She was always extra thick. That being said, she looks more natural now than her previous assassin-looking gear. So, what's it called? She finally puts the past behind her, and, she stops at a tavern. And when I saw the tavern, I'm all like, oh, is this what I think it is? And then, what's it called? She goes to the bartender, who is the samurai, or the samurai, from, what's it called? This episode where there's this guy, the samurai, and he's all like hot stuff, but he actually isn't. It's basically just for show and stuff, right? And, Jack manages to humble him, and, he becomes the bartender, basically. And then you like, a bunch of customers just go up and start talking about how Jack is the best warrior in the world and stuff, and they share their scars, and, it's great. And then Demongo shows up. I wasn't expecting frickin' Demongo to show up. He's a bounty hunter that Aku had, that basically stole people's souls. And, or warrior souls. And he shows up again, and I'm surprised as all heck because of that, because last time we saw him, I think, Aku crushed him or something like that. But, I'm surprised he's back to his original, form that he took. I don't know if he's like a really short cameo, or if he's gonna have, like, any sort of presence, but yeah, he just shows up randomly, and like, he noticed that the warriors there are just in terrible condition, and it's like, you know what, I think I got the wrong place. So, Ashi basically leaves the tavern. She finds a strange person, like a strange girl, and she tells, she says how she can find Jack, and she basically finds him in a cemetery surrounded by, like, ghosts of, like, other samurai. And the horseman shows up, and he prepares to help Jack commit seppuku. the honorable thing to do once you've failed like a thing with the samurai, right? Um, so he Jack's gonna commit seppuku, and Ashi's fighting the horseman dude. The entire time yelling out about all the things like he's done. Like he even confirms like the children are very much alive. And his she mentions that he saved her and stuff, and Jack basically gets his confidence back, and he saves Ashi from the horseman, and he kills the apparition with the sword intended for his own seppuku. And the ghosts of the other samurai they return to the graves, and Jack's all like he's all like thanks, and it's all like, oh hey, it's all like you have nice hair, and you got a nice dress, in similar awkward samurai Jack fashion. And then she asks what the next move is, and then Jack's all like, to find his sword. And we're getting it, boys. Jack's on the road to recovery. I think he's basically recovered, that's good to hear, to be honest. I'm really glad that Jack's on a recovery rate. It's good. It's good. I really enjoy that. Other than that, we've got Kamen Rider Exade, episode 28. Oh boy, this is a big one. Not in terms of fights. The fights are actually pretty tame this time, but for obvious reasons, because we're getting into more of Poppy's character. We find out some interesting things about the Bugster. That the Bugsters, whenever they take over a human, they get that human's save data, basically their memories. And it results in this really funny line from Graphite, who's all like, because I took over her body, I now have the memories of Brave's lover. And the way he said that is hilarious and creepy. Creepy because, it's all like, I now have the memories of Brave's lover. But hilarious because, I'm pretty sure they did it at one point or another. And I'm curious if, Graphite ever gets, random flashbacks of that, because that would be awkward as heck, seeing, I'm just gonna leave it as there's nothing I cannot cut. Yeah, okay, moving on. Poppy's kind of having doubts at first. We start to see the cracks in the spell that Ren, Lavrika put her under. We start to see those cracks finally start to take shape. Not before she fights Hiro and Emu with Parad. The funny thing about the fights this episode is that Emu's fights with Parad basically consist of him pushing or knocking him out of the way, because Emu's in full I'm gonna save Poppy mode, and so he's all like, I don't have time for you. So he tosses he tosses Parad aside like an old toy, basically, and that old toy reference will pay off in the end, trust me. So he eventually he eventually starts fighting with Poppy, and he goes for a finisher, but instead of doing a regular standard finisher, he uses a reprogramming finisher to get rid of the Lavrika programming in her, basically, to turn her back to what she was before that programming. And while it doesn't completely work yet, because she's hesitant and goes back with Parad, it's starting to slowly affect her. Basically, she starts having memories too. Then she realizes, hey, in order to be born, I had to have taken someone's life and stuff. You know what I mean? And that's where we get the Graphite, I have the memories of Brave's lover quote. It's just funny, to be honest, that the quote of his. But yeah, it's basically, Parod's all like, bugsters are supposed to beat humans, and, there should be no greater joy than that. And, I think everyone, for the most part, is forgetting the Burgermon instant, especially Emu, or I don't think Emu completely forgot it, but he knows there's a way to game clear Poppy without actually killing her, because people this time are infected with Poppy's virus, right? So, they, what's it called? So they think brute force is the only way, and so we have a team of Nico, Taiga, and Hero, all, wailing on Poppy, and it's really sad to see, but she can take a lot of punishment, Jesus freaking Christ. Yeah. While Emu's fighting Parod, who's like trying to get his attention and being like, hey, come on, fight me, you know what I mean? And, it all culminates in the fact that Poppy loses her transformation. We don't see what happens to her Tokimeki Crisis Gashot. It kind of just disappears out of the driver after she loses her transformation. So Emu basically has Mighty Maximum X, hold Parrot in place while he goes to protect Poppy. And, everyone's like yelling at him to get out of the way and blah, blah, blah. And Emu's like, come on, she's our ally, blah, blah, blah. And, she starts talking about, how she's the enemy of humanity and stuff. And, Emu's all like in the most stoic voice possible, he's all like, okay. And he dismisses his transformation, kneels down, takes the Buggle Driver 2 out of her hands, and aims the gun portion at it while putting her hand on the button that would probably fire it. Fire it. So, he's all like, fight me. He's like, he's yelling at her to fight and attack him, but she can't, because he knows that Poppy, despite it all, she was never really meant to hurt others. You know what I mean? She just, as she says, she just wants to play Do Re Mi Fa beat with everyone. She wants to sing and dance with everyone. She wants to have fun. That's what her Bugster side is calling her to do, before it got corrupted by Parod and Love Rika, who wanted what's it called? They wanted Poppy to be on the I want to kill humans side, obviously. And because of this, Emu's all like, okay, then we'll play together. And Poppy finally she hugs him and game clear, and everyone's all like, oh, wait, how did they get or Nico's all like, how did he get a game clear or whatever? And Tiger's all like, it was probably because he made her smile or something like that. But yeah, so nice to see our writers are stubborn as ever in terms of, hey, you can only kill things for game clears, right? But yeah, that actually cures everyone of the Poppy infection, which is really, really good. I like that. I like that a lot. What's it called? Of course, though, far away, Parrot is getting super, super jealous. And as everyone's having their fun little walk away moment, Parrot interrupts them. And Parrot's all like, hey, you keep saying, you said you'd promise Poppy, you promised to Poppy you'd play with her. Why can't you do that with me, Emu? It's like, there's no point if I can't fight you. And, Emu's all like, you two are completely different. What are you talking about? And, Parrot then drops the bombshell. It's all like, but Emu, you are me. It's all like, I am you or whatever. And his eyes glow red. The signature M takes over, red that we've been seeing for a while lately, or Bugster side take over for a while lately, and then Parrot possesses Emu. Yeah, And so Parrot does what he's been wanting to do this entire episode. When Poppy runs over to him, he smacks her in the face because he's been disappointed and stuff. But yeah, now he can say the ultimate best game can now begin. And this is Emu saying this because he's been possessed now. So yeah, Parrot is Emu's bugster. Now you're probably wondering, what kind of sense does that make? Well, allow me to tell you my theory and extend this video by like 10 minutes. So, the way, the way the timeline works, or at least from what I'm remembering at this moment, is that, okay, so Dan was a genius child prodigy, right? Dan was a genius child prodigy for Ganmu Corp. And we sent in a bunch of ideas of really good game ideas and stuff. And, Dan's all like, I can't have that. There can't be someone as good as making video games as I am. I'm the prodigy and stuff. So, he sends over Mighty Action C, which contains the Bugster virus. I'm assuming at that point it gives him a standard, like, viral infection because it hasn't matured yet into the virus we know today. So, we get to a scene with young Emu and Dr. Hinata operating on Emu and managing to save his life and keep the infection at bay and stuff. And at that point, Emu wants to become a doctor, but because of the Bugster virus within him, it manifests as a desire to play video games. So while he had his career path set out for him, he became more and more of an avid gamer, eventually donning the Genius Gamer M persona. And this Genius Gamer M persona was more than likely Parrot slowly manifesting through Emu. But it was kept in check because Emu's a kind, sweethearted guy. So, despite, having this very abrasive personality, the Emu personality, his original one, is what, helped rein it in, keep it reined in and stuff. So, cut forward to the tournament with Cybernico and Emu winning and getting exhausted afterwards and like passing out, or otherwise known as kidnapping, because Dan knew that the virus had matured after seeing Genius Gamer M's, handiwork in the tournament, right? So he has Dr. Pac-Man extract the virus from Emu. Dr. Pac-Man disappears as a result of extracting the Bugster virus, and as a result gives birth to the new Bugster virus we know today. And as a result, we get Parrot out of that. Now, Parrot would have been separated from Emu, and now you're saying to myself, how can Parrot be Emu's Bugster when Emu's Bugster is part of Mighty Action XX? That's the thing. They extracted the Bugster thing to make the new Bugster virus. That doesn't mean they extracted it all. And if the Bugster virus got separated from Emu and split off into its own entity, Parrot, then it's very possible that the Genius Gamer M persona we've been seeing is just the remnants of it modifying Emu's personality a bit whenever he transforms. The only reason it modifies his personality because of his, because of the gamer driver transformation. It activated the Bugster virus after all this time. So, yeah, Parrot's free, and he has the obsession of games and stuff, but he doesn't have the personality that, he doesn't have the soft personality that Emu has to rein him in, which is why he's doing all this. And so, with Emu, the reason he can have two people is because of the remnants of the Bugster virus, creating the alternate persona for him. Parrot is his Bugster. What we've been seeing as the more abrasive side of him with Mighty Brothers is just the remnants of the Bugster virus in there. And, that's what I'm thinking basically occurred. yeah, that's my theory on how this whole thing went down to begin with. So, yeah, that's just a theory, a Genmu theory. Speaking of Genmu, though, I ain't done with talking about Exe just yet. I mean, it's all, it's been going on for a while, but hey, we got scans recently. Still don't know who Kronos is at this point in time, but, Dan the Man's coming back with level 0. Yeah. Like that's going to be any help against the next upgrade we're getting this week. So, we have the preview, and it's a lot of you or me, I am you, blah blah blah, shadow the true self, persona. I had to make the joke. Okay, so there's a lot of that, but then we see Parad do a max die henshin, and basically he basically turns into, I think it's perfect knockout level 99 Paradox. And because of that, we're going to see a really big curb stomp battle between Brave, Snipe, and, Paradox. Things aren't looking good for our heroes. Things aren't looking good at all. Yeah. So, what's it called? Yeah, next week looks really intense. I'm like shaking in my boots. I'm trying to figure out what's gonna go on, and it's just, yeah. Oh, and I just realized, I never actually talked about the Samurai Jack, episode preview. Basically, the preview goes along the lines of Jack needs to find a sword, but he has to do this like on a mental journey alone. Meanwhile, kinda Ashi's like guarding him, I guess, in a way. And as a result, what's it called? She sees an army, and like they're all like, "We're going up the mountain to kill the samurai. What's it to you?" And then cuts to her punching the face of one of them, and that's basically going to be our episode, probably. Jack going on a major spiritual journey, and Ashi taking on an army to protect Jack. So, yeah. Both episodes look like they're going to be pretty intense next week, so here's hoping they deliver. I'm really hoping we got some good stuff planned for us next week. So, yeah. I'm Zero. This was Zero Views. I had a fun time this week. I hope you guys did too. I'll be seeing you guys next time.